Hey folks, Nick Amos from the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank back with you again for a brief training video, very brief, and this is about an update that's coming this weekend, very small update, and it's about tracking deliveries. So if you're an organization that does a fair amount of delivering to your clients rather than your clients coming to you, this will be a way for you to differentiate between those two client pools in your reporting. Roadmap for our training today, I'm briefly going to go over how to record that a service was delivered rather than picked up, and then we'll go into how you report on that so you can actually see the breakdown in your reporting. And for those of you that don't care to track deliveries or don't do deliveries, don't be dismayed, because this isn't going to add or change anything about how you do business. This is just going to change for those of you that want to track deliveries. It's going to be there for all of you. We had to do this as a network-wide setting, but as you'll see as we go forward, if you don't wish to track it, or if the client is picking up, then nothing will change about how you record services. So let's go ahead and jump in. I've got my test database open here. We're going to call up a client. I've already called up a couple here to make sure that they're functioning properly. And as you do, you go to the Services tab. So nothing's changed, right? And then we select the service. So we're going to call this a TFAP service. And now we get our service window where we have to do the things we always do. You'll notice here under General Visit Details, here is where the change is. You'll see a new box next to date that is labeled Delivery Required. And you're going to see that that box defaults to no. And that's where I was talking about. If you don't want to track deliveries, just don't touch that box and it's not going to record as a delivery. So it's going to default to no. And we do that so that those of you that don't care to track deliveries don't have to worry about an additional step with this upgrade. So if you don't want to, once again, I'm just going to hammer this home, right? If you don't want to track deliveries, just don't do anything different with that box. Just skip over it, pretend it's not there. For those of you that are tracking deliveries, if you leave that box as it is, then your service will record as a pickup. You know, the folks came to you to get the service. But if you want to track that it was a delivery, you just change it to yes. And then everything else is exactly the same. We got our reason for visit, and then we just got our signature, right? And so not script, we'll do a sign on screen here. And we got our sign, beautiful signature there. And then we will save the service. Whoopsie. Alright, somebody must have been using my client there. You get the point. Let's go back to services. And I want to show you, so that was for TFAP. So non-TFAP, different service, right? You'll see you also have that delivery required option there. And it defaults to no, just like the other one. You could change it to yes. And then just as with you guys that record those non-TFAP services, no signature required. And we record that service. And that's going to be the same for every type of service. So I can say my TFAP service, was that delivered or not? My non-TFAP, was that delivered or not? And my CSFP, was that delivered or not? Or any of the custom services that we've built out for you guys. You can track any service as a delivery or not. Just to recap that briefly. On the Services tab, when you select the service to record it, the only change is that delivery required box. And the only thing you're going to do if it was a delivery is change the no to a yes. That's it. That is the sum total of the change in your workflow if you want to track deliveries. So we're tracking those deliveries on the Services tab. Now how do we extract that information from the system via the reporting functionality? So I'm going to show you where that lives in the reporting universe. So we'll go over here and we'll open reports on the navigation bar, and we'll select new report. And the only report that's going to show your deliveries broken out is the statistics report. We'll have a new report and we'll title it some gibberish. And just as we always do on our stats report, if you need a refresher on the reporting, there's another video I did on our channel here that goes over reporting in a lot more detail than I'm going to go over here for your basic setup stuff. So I got my name, I got my date, I got my organization. And for the following program types, this is where I want to talk about. This all depends. I don't care one way or the other. I'm just going to show you how you may want to look at it from a data analysis perspective. I could select all, and that would group all my services in this report for whatever time frame I'm running it, be it monthly or whatever. I could look at all my TFAP visits, all my non-TFAP visits, all my CSFP visits. I could glom all those together, or I could make 3 different or however many different versions of this report and just do a single service type for each of those. It all depends on what you care about. Do you just want to see your TFAP visits differentiated between delivery or not? Do you just want to see your CSFP visits delineated between deliveries or not? Or do you want to know everything I've done? I don't care about the stuff that was delivered. I just want to know as a whole, how many services did we have to go out to the home and deliver, or how many picked up? If you want to look at that over all service types, then you just hit the little green select all. And that's what I'm going to do here. Now, this is the important part, because there are a ton of options, as you'll see here. I haven't counted them, but right, that's probably what, north of 50 options there on your what you could put on this statistics report. This thing can balloon out to be a beast. I prefer to run this report for a very specific purpose and only select a couple of these, and it just makes it more readable, and you actually extract more useful information. Sometimes the information can get lost if you just hit select all and get this all as a whole thing here. I'm going to deselect. So I'm going to show you here, right here, visits, deliveries, duplicated. That's the only option on any report that's going to break out deliveries from non-deliveries, and it's not going to differentiate between your programs, as I was talking about before. So it very much depends on what you select up here for the program types. So for this report, I'm just going to select that one option there. So this will be a very focused report, and I hit create report, and I go here, and you'll see that I've already created a report called Deliveries, so we don't have to wait for that to run. And we'll see what this looks like. Though it has 3 sections, as many of these statistics reports do. You get a nice text section here that's going to say 432 of my visits did not require delivery. 4 of them did, for a total. Notice that this is a duplicated count, and so this is not a unique count of the households that received deliveries. This is a count of how many deliveries you did, and that's the only. I think that it's fairly obvious why that's the case in terms of reporting, because the delivery yes no is recorded at the time of service, and so it can only count all services, which is by necessity going to give you a duplicated count. Along with the text, you get your nice little pie chart, and you get your nice little bar chart, and that's it. I think the important takeaway from the reporting discussion there is you need to intentionally, when creating this report, decide, do I want to look at my deliveries per program type, in which case you would need a separate report per program type, or I don't care what type of service was delivered, I just want to look at my deliveries as a whole, in which case you would select all of your service types. And that's it. So we've gone over how to record it on the Services tab of the client profile, and we've gone over which option in the statistics report will generate that information to you through the system. It's a very minor change, and we are happy to implement the enhancement. This is one of those changes that came from you guys. We had several organizations start talking to us about the fact that, hey, we do a lot of deliveries, a lot of homebound, we have routes, things like that, and we'd like to see that in our reporting. So that's why we implemented it. It did necessitate it being a network-wide enhancement, and we didn't see a big problem with that, because if you don't care to record your deliveries, then absolutely nothing about your workflow will change. Just ignore that little box that is going to pop up starting this weekend. And that is it for our discussion on deliveries. As always, if you have any topic that you would like covered in some depth through one of these videos, just let your PSC know, let me know. I'd be happy to go over it. And if you're asking that question to yourself, I'm sure that several of your peers are asking it to themselves as well. This is a nice, efficient way for us to get those answers out to you as a larger group. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope to be back shortly with more videos. That's all for now.